Hey, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching. It would mean the world to us if you could just scroll down, like, hit the subscribe button for the Snaps YouTube channel. It goes a long way towards helping us out. Now, let's dive into some college football. Let's talk Dan Lanning. So it came out now and then we'll get to favorite games after that. Sorry for screwing up the order here, PG. But it came out that Dan Lanning said he never considered the Alabama position and wants to make Oregon the best job in college football. Two things here. I want to talk about Lanning saying that, and then what is the best job in college football? You seem skeptical, Aaron. Why is that?
Why would you not consider? I think the maybe deciding that you ended up not wanting to take it because you felt that there's things left undone in Oregon, or that you enjoyed being in Oregon, or you felt that you could. I get that, but like, your ass considered taking the job. You sat down and have a conversation with you and your wife and thought about what it would be like to go to Tuscaloosa with all those resources, all those players to take over what Nick Saban has been, essentially built. Like, to say that you didn't even think about it or consider it, I think it's a little bit silly, but
I don't know, dude.
I don't know. You have to consider that move. That is
that
is a blue blood school. That is a school that has been built with an incredible foundation, that has everything that you could possibly want to win championships in the best conference in America. Why the hell would you not even think about it?
Okay. Well, Jake, what do you think?
I think when you look at Oregon, it's set up pretty nice.
It is set up great.
Now, I mean, like, how long did he think about it? Probably at some point, but how much was it? And big win for Oregon.
Seriously.
Look, I don't know why, but like Willie Taggart, like, he's there for a little bit and he's like, I'm going back home. It's like, well, not really. Like, you played at Western Kentucky. Like, you're from Florida, but you're not going back home to Florida State. And then Mario Cristobal, he's there. The only time he's ever been successful as a head coach is at Oregon. He was horrible at FIU.
Yeah.
He's been bad at Miami.
Exactly.
The only place he's been successful is Oregon.
Which is why I'm trying to tell Aaron that Oregon lifted Cristobal up, not the other way.
I think so.
But they were also,
he's going to be good again this year.
They were also in the Pac-12, where they were significantly more talented than the other schools in that conference. It's a little bit different now.
Not this last year.
I know, but I'm talking about the other guys previously. Like, they were the big dogs in that conference. USC was down. UCLA wasn't rolling. Like, Oregon has been the dominant team in the Pac-12.
We're losing the thread here. Have they from Pac-12 title standpoint? But we're losing the thread here because I think Jake's onto something here. Without Nick Saban, what does Alabama really represent over Oregon? Like, it's something that you've been touching on. You talk about players committing to Saban over Tuscaloosa. What built-in advantages, and this is something where it's going to crop up during our best job in America conversation.
I think recruiting.
What built-in advantages does Tuscaloosa really have over Eugene? Okay, recruiting. I would say,
which is big lifeblood. It's a lot easier to recruit to the Southeast than it is to the Northwest.
How much is their footprint?
Alabama,
how much is their footprint change if you're Oregon going to the Big Ten? Like, does that open up more doors? Do you lose players from California? Like, I ain't about that life traveling across the country. Like, they're about to enter a new pipeline, good or bad.
We'll see. I just think that if I'm a kid in the Midwest or the Southeast, like, that's a big commitment to still go to the Northwest, regardless of what conference you're in. There's a lot of good schools I can commit that are closer to home.
So, so Oregon, so you say recruiting, but it comes at a time for Oregon where geographical recruiting means, that's what I'm saying. It means less than ever because you can pay players. You can pay players. And they have all the buy-in. They have the great facilities. They've got a really good young head coach that you could feel more strongly about than being committed to his school than any other coach in America.
Let me ask you this question, both of you. What would happen faster? Dan Lanning coaching at Alabama or Dan Lanning coaching at Oregon to win a national championship?
It'd be impossible not to say Alabama because of where Saban left it right now.
Thank you.
Yes. But long term, all I'm saying is is Tuscaloosa inherently great, or did Nick Saban make it great? That's what I'm
They've had two of the greatest coaches of all time. They had two of the greatest runs of all time.
Hey,
I'm not over an executive. Maybe it is.
Look, this is
lightning struck twice.
I feel like this is one of my missions in life to remind people that Alabama in 2005 was really damn good. We played against that team. They were undefeated in November, and it was Mike Shula was the coach. So to support your argument, Aaron, they had D'Amico Ryans. They had Brody Croyle at quarterback. Like they were number
Roman
4.
Harper?
Roman Harper. How did I forget Rowe? He's probably the best pro of all those. I mean, they were like number 4 in the country, and they only lost to us in overtime, and then they lost the Iron Bowl that year. So they only lost 2 games. And so like that team doesn't get talked about, but they've had other teams outside of Saban, before he got there.
Okay, so maybe Tuscaloosa then is inherently much more.
But I think
than
Oregon's about to go to a spot that we don't know. Like we don't know what they're going to be in the Big Ten. I think it can really elevate them. Like it might change the narrative of their program. I think in a good way.
I also think it's impossible. I know like a lot of people want to hand wave this away and say, you're not a competitor if this is how you feel. But I think you're human if this is how you feel. Like this doesn't even get into the questions of legacy or expectation. Like you can say they shouldn't matter, but it absolutely does. It's way easier for Lanning to not easier, but it's way less pressure for Lanning to forge his path, and he has more room to make mistakes at Oregon on his climb, and people will be happier with less than in Tuscaloosa. Like I think that does matter, and I don't think it makes you a bad competitor or anything because I think Lanning's in a great spot right now.
Lanning's gonna make a ton of money, and the chances of him ever getting fired are pretty low.
Job security much better at Oregon than Alabama.
Shepard Duck says, thank God Dan didn't chase Saban's legacy and wants to create his own here. Man, who cares about how good the Bama job is? Obviously, historically, 100 times better than again. Historically. But Oregon's been one of the fastest risers in this modern era of college football, and I see no reason why it's going to slow down. I only see it increasing from here on out. So I don't think the gap between the inherent power of both jobs are as maybe wide as some are trying to make it here. I would also say this. I think Dan Lanning is human. He's one of the more normal head coaches. And I take this quote at face value. He says, quote, I'm committed to being here. I've got a 10-year-old. I got to get him through high school. Yeah. The only way that doesn't happen is I don't win enough to put my focus on something else other than Oregon football. That's going to be a distraction to us accomplishing that goal. Like I think that, I take that.
Which I love. And then you've said this a bajillion times on the show, T, of like, what is wrong with Oregon? Like, why do coaches just want to leave Oregon? Like, there is nothing wrong there. You have the resources. You have the NIL money. You have incredible uniforms. You are recruiting at a very high level.
You have a very good brand.
Nike,
you got everything you want. So recruiting, why it is a little bit more difficult, you're still making it happen. I mean,
it's more difficult, but again, you're the power in the West, like out West, like you, and you can pay people now. Portal, wherever you want. Like portal, like Oregon could be Ole Miss on steroids if they wanted to, with like more high school recruiting, like better consistent high school recruiting, but then also getting like Portal superstars.
Well, they I don't like the Ole Miss compare, I guess, from the portal standpoint, but they could be a lot more consistent. Like they could be what Ohio State was this year. Like that's what I think. That's more because Ohio State wanted to put together $13 million a year to go get the top prospects, they could. And I think Oregon, with their brand and with the money, could do the same exact thing. Like they could say, hey, guys, we need, $10 to $15 million to go raise to go get a new portal class. And Dan Lanning could make that happen in an instant.
They could do that multiple years in a row as well.
Yes.
Right. That's the question with Ole Miss is I don't know if Ole Miss 13 million and they're hoping that they bank off this 13 million and they win. And then that turns into more 13 millions down the road. But Oregon, even if they don't win 15 million next year, 15 million, they could keep stacking those because we're talking about something different. And I don't know if y'all have ever been to a game there. I think you have.
Yeah, I have. I saw my little brother.
It is incredible. I mean, it's a great campus. It's a great atmosphere. There's a give a damn factor there at Oregon as well.